What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another F1 24 My Team Career Mode video. Today, round 10 around Belgium. It's Spa-Francorchamps, and today it is a bit of a belter, I have to say. We've got quali coming up just now for you. Gonna do one lap from each of the qualifying sessions. If you're new around here, it's gonna be a double race week drop. So essentially what that means, I'm trying to catch up to finish this career mode season before the new F1 25 drops, and that basically means I need to double up. Normally it's weekly videos. This week and another week will be 2 videos in a week, so make sure you subscribe if you want to stay up to date with that. So far, pretty tidy lap. We've only really had one corner. That is turn 1, which I hate around this circuit, but that's just a skill issue rather than anything else. Pretty decent sector 1, a little bit squirrely through that sort of left-right there. And now as we start to go down the hill, trying to put the traction down nice and early, get up on that curb, balance the car out, swing it around this left, and then dive with everything you've got down the hill through the almost full throttle left-hander, even not right-hander. You do have to lift, and it's so important that you lift and steer in the right way so that you don't spin the car or hit the curb and spin the car or go out wide, and obviously maximize the track without just burning your tires away. It's a little bit of a slight oversteer moment on exit, under traction mainly there, just trying to get the throttle down so we can use all of our speed down this really long winding straight. And I say it's a winding straight because you don't brake at all, there's no lift at all. Just get your line right and you're golden. Spot your braking point there about the 100-meter board. Mount the curbs as much as you dare. Be careful of the little sausages on the inside of the curbs. They can spin your car, but it's a fastest lap for us, a 1:43.0 for Q1, which is pretty decent, I have to say. A lot of the times during quali I was a bit inconsistent with turn-in, you know, minimum speeds, all that stuff I've been trying to improve on. Even there, going a little bit wide, kind of touching the sausage curb on the outside of the exit of turn 1 there. But now up here, keep the throttle pinned and just pray you make it to the top in one piece. But then, yeah, you kind of carry that momentum all the way down here. And there's no Sebastian Vettel in F1 anymore, sadly, for me. Great guy. Even all the work he's done outside of F1 has been phenomenal to watch. And we all know the commentary, including Vettel's name down that long straight. But overall, a relatively tidy lap. We could have had a better apex there. I really should improve some of my kind of consistency here and there. Again, skill issues all around. But overall, a pretty tidy lap, and it's all about if we can kind of survive, I guess. Looking at that, a very twitchy moment mid-corner, just with the weight change, essentially the distribution of the weight moving over from one side of the car to the other as the car kind of loads up on one side and then releases the load directly onto the other side instead of sort of straightening up and balancing out. Can be a little bit treacherous occasionally. And yeah, another pretty tidy lap. Lewis Hamilton goes fastest with the 1:43.2, was it? Something like that. 1:43.2, 1:43.3. We're going to go there with a 1:42 dead. And another massive improvement for us there. But, surprise, surprise, Q3, completely different conditions. We've got a very low drag, low downforce setup for this circuit, as you can expect, with all of the high speed straights and even straights that have sort of corners in but aren't corners. So we're potentially going to struggle here. Hamilton a 32.9 in the first sector. Let's see what we can do. Struggling a little bit up Eau Rouge and Radion, and yeah, we've just got to hope and pray that our straight line speed here can trump any kind of additional downforce that the AI have put on for these more twisty parts of the track. But you can see how much slower we are through those corners compared to Q2 and Q1. And again, just trying to get everything out of the car. There's kind of more turning here than I thought I would have with my low downforce, and then it kind of goes away for the left-hander. So it's a little bit inconsistent in terms of the, maybe not the balance, but the kind of the amount of grip I have at various speeds. But you can see just how much we're struggling through the corner, and even here you'll probably see it again. So much slower here, and still barely getting the car to turn and make it to the exit curb there. And Hamilton a 1:23.5. What do we get there? A 1:24.8, which is crazy how much we're losing compared to the AI in our final lap of qualifying. So all we've got to do now is spot our braking point. Low speed corners you don't really need downforce for. It does help, but not as much as high speed, because you're getting less air through all of your wings and aerodynamic bits, basically. So through this last corner, a little bit of an upset car as we just don't have any grip at all. Even wheel spin in 5th gear, a 1:55.3 compared to a 1:54 something that I saw further up the grid. But let's see where we actually ended up. George Russell getting a 1:53.692 in Q3 to round out that pole position. Oscar Piastri just behind him by less than a tenth, just over half a tenth there. Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari and Sergio Perez in the Red Bull, followed by Hamilton, Norris, Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly in 8th, Esteban Ocon, ourselves in 10th, Alonso 11th, Stroll 12th, Leclerc, our teammate, just behind us there, then Magnussen, Albon, Zhou Guanyu, Dennis Hauger, Yuki Tsunoda, Logan Sargent and Teo Pourchaire, and on the last row of the grid, Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg, almost 9 seconds off the pace, which is very surprising. But thankfully it's a dry race. Thankfully for our pace, it is a dry race. And I think we're going to go for the alternate strat, going medium soft, try and hold on to DRS, see what our straight line speed can do for us in terms of overtaking. But all the lights are on, now they're out. Very short hold there from us, and Esteban Ocon gets off to a flying start relative to those around him, and it's 3 wide into turn 1 in front of us and 2 wide for ourselves as they sort of sorting themselves out up in front. And Lance Stroll actually gets the jump on us on those soft tyres. Obviously with the outside line as well, he's got more momentum, more traction, but up the hill we're almost having to take avoiding action instead of hitting the rear of that Aston Martin, as Gasly and Ocon are going very aggressive on the defence. We're going to use a bit of slipstream, look to the outside. Max Verstappen's also defending from the Alpine and the Aston Martin. We can't get the Dutchman this time, but we got, I believe it was a triple overtake down the straight essentially. And now round the outside of the Red Bull. Can we make it work? We're on the mediums, remember, but he's kind of boxed in behind his teammate of Sergio Perez. Can we make it stick? Yes, we can. Give him a little squeeze on exit for good measure. And now we've just got to try and hold on to the coattails of Sergio Perez through this middle sector so that we can claim the DRS for the second lap, which we have managed to do pretty well. There must have been some battling up ahead of us on track between the leaders potentially, although there is a Mercedes at the very front that you can see on the mini-map slightly getting away from the Ferrari. But up the hill again, we're getting some great slingshot effect there. Use a bit of battery, use the DRS, use the slipstream. Thank you very much, Hamilton, for that, as we're going to go to the outside of the Mercedes, purple sector 1, which obviously is to be expected in lap 2. But we get the move done, all with a squirrely rear end. And no, I don't have the fluffy tail to match. But we're doing pretty well so far. Up to P5 from P10. A very successful start to this race so far. It does look like we're dropping out of the DRS though from the top 4. Lando Norris in the Ferrari, just over a second ahead of us, as you can see there, in a little sort of medium distance. He's not too far away, but we've got to try our very best to get back inside that DRS, otherwise we're potentially going to be vulnerable down the long straights in sector 1 and even at this back end of sector 3. So we can actually, we've lost time massively to that Ferrari, almost half a second through sector 2, so you can definitely tell that we're running a much sort of faster setup in terms of straights, but in the corners we're losing out massively. By lap 5 though, we did manage to get back in touching distance of the front runners. They were battling a little bit, and we also managed to claw some pace back with the use of our ERS down those long straights, as you can probably see now. Maybe you'll see in the top left the time dropping slightly, even though we're not even using our battery right now. We're catching up by almost a tenth down the straight, more than that even. This is almost 2/10 here that you can see. Is now we're going to think about a move? No, way too far back for a move on Norris, as we almost loop the car around under traction, probably thanks to the curbing on the left hand side of that final chicane. And just as we think we're getting close enough, we lock the right front, that's the word, not the fright front, but there we go, mincing words. That's what we do here on this channel, so if you like that kind of thing, you know what to do. But with the DRS, you can see Norris is harvesting actually, so maybe he's using again. No, he's harvesting, so we're going to force him to go defensive, try and send it around the outside, and it does stick. Surprisingly enough, we did give him a bit of a squeeze there on the apex, but I think it's kind of showing that the mediums are starting to come into their own again, as we have been able to catch up, as I said before, but also make the overtake work around the outside, which is a decent sight for us to see, as we're the only ones on the mediums anywhere near the top 10 from what I can tell. But still, it's not comfortable. We're still having to use pretty much all of our battery to stay in touching distance just to make this move work. I say this move because it's the same move we've been doing all day. Just drive past them. It's the best thing you can do in a racing game, or racing in general. Drive past people. You know, Will Buxton moment. If you get past people, you're more likely to win. So now we're in P2 actually, as we've gotten past Piastri, and we've got signs in our sights, and pretty soon potentially looking at an overtake down the inside into the final chicane. As we lock the rears slightly, we still managed to keep it on track, and luckily no contact made between ourselves and the Ferrari. But it looks like there's a few people peeling into the pit lane for their first and only pit stop of the race. They're likely to go mediums, as we're doing the alternate strat. As you can see, Piastri did stick on the mediums as Charles Leclerc, our teammate, into the pits himself. As we run up the hill, and now we've got to see what we can do, if we can make the overcut work or try and hinder the undercut as much as possible. But if you look in the bottom right, we started off with a lap extra of fuel. I've been having to save for the past couple of laps, so our advantage over the likes of Norris, over the likes of Piastri and Sainz, has been diminishing pretty quickly. Now I'm saving fuel now because I want to do it on old tyres. I don't want to waste my new tyres saving fuel, if that makes sense, and coasting around. All I'm doing, I'm just lifting and coasting. So I'm lifting here, braking a bit less and later, so that when I get through the corner I should be roughly about the same speed. I'm not that good at it, but I'm trying my best here to make it work. Lose as little time as possible as we get all over the gravel at the start of Sector 3. That did lose us a good chunk of time, but I think we're going to be peeling into the pit lane at the end of this lap, as we get a track limit violation just for sneaking a little bit too far out to the right hand side. And again, now we're just going to peel into the pit. Someone's taken out the bollard. It wasn't us and Piastri this time though, as we slam on the brakes to slow the car down just in the nick of time. And now we'll probably see this first train is looking pretty large, to be honest, but we are going to have fresh softs that are 3 laps younger than their mediums, so we should have decent pace. We already know we can overtake on slower tyres essentially, so now it's all about seeing what we can do as Sergio Perez gets past us thanks to his momentum, and Lewis Hamilton does the same. But can we get the Mercedes and the Red Bull back as we go down the straight with DRS? The soft tyres all the battery in the world thanks to the pit lane. Hamilton goes to the inside. Perez tries to cover him off. We're going to go past both of them around the outside. And that is how it's done. P5 in this race as we go massively wide there. That was not what we wanted to do at all. I think I was just expecting maybe a little bit more grip. Or perhaps it's another one of my skill issues that I seem to have a few of. We're doing okay. Got George Russell in our sights ahead. We have more than enough fuel. Even if we burn 0.1 lap extra every lap, we'll still have enough fuel to make it to the end without running into any fuel issues. Again, this should be easy pickings for us here. I think George Russell might only just get DRS, but look how close we are. Look at the slipstream already. He doesn't have DRS. There is no way, and that is absolutely on the limit, Mr. Russell. We'll see you in the steward room after. Practically pushing me onto the grass to block the overtake there, but we managed to just pin that pedal to the floor, be brave about it, and get the job done. But now it's time for the top three. 2 Ferraris and a McLaren versus 1 Andretti Cadillac car. Who's going to come out on top here? I think it's going to be me, just purely because of the offset in the tyres that we have and the pace that we have down the straight. I don't think any of them have that kind of advantage. Obviously through the corners we can't do anything, but there's not massive overtaking opportunities in the middle sector anyway. So in reality we're not really losing much at all. And even then, their advantage that they have of having a higher downforce setup, we're kind of reducing that and limiting that disadvantage that we have because we're using the soft tyres and they're so much fresher than those mediums. Look at that. Just around the outside of Sainz, thank you very much. We do go a bit deep. Didn't really want to hit Norris or risk it. And also wanted to give Sainz space, but there's no stress on it at all. And there's a fastest lap, a 1:43.3. 0.3 slower than our qualifying lap. That was the best qualifying lap, I think, that we did. So we've got the pace. The fuel is going to slow us down, and the tyre wear will as well, which I would say that equals 0.3. So we're absolutely on the pace as we are all over the McLaren of Oscar Piastri, almost ahead of him before the DRS gets opened. And Norris has absolutely no defense. Look at the closing speed that we've got as we go around the outside of the race leader to, again, purple sector 1 and take the lead. This is turning out to be an absolutely sensational drive from P10 on the grid to P1. 13 laps, 1 pit stop, obviously, and we're doing a good job. I'm not sure we're going to lose these guys though through the middle sector. We've broken DRS to Norris at the moment, but he's going to gain probably about half a second in this second sector. But again, let's see and find out where we end up at the end of the lap. We go a little bit deep in to that corner at the start of sector 3, and Norris is still hanging on to the DRS. We're going to use our ERS to get out of that DRS range, but we've got no battery left, which is a bit of a struggle, if you ask me. Let's see where not Pierre, that's awkward. See where Charles Leclerc is. He's in 11th, but that was the fastest lap. So thank you very much, there's the win. Exactly.
Ah, fantastic drive, that's just fantastic, amazing, you deserve that race win, well done mate.
I bet you didn't expect the race to finish that quickly, because I'll tell you now, I'm recording the voice and I didn't expect it.
What a great race then, and a magnificent victory here at the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's a good race, 10th to 1st in 15 laps, pretty good.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they were able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
Yeah, like the moment when we locked up the rears, I think it was on Sainz. It's crazy.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.
Yeah, no, I couldn't be happier really with this race. I think we performed well. The overtakes went really nicely. A couple of hairy moments, but overall we were relatively consistent, I would say, in terms of our overtakes, the efficiency of the overtakes as well. Like when we went for a move, we went for it. We knew where to make it and when. And I think that is what won us the race, essentially. It's like the race intelligence, I think.
It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
I can't wait to see what's next either, Crofty. It's going to be a nice breakdown here. Obviously, we get the win and the fastest lap. Lando Norris and Piastri joined us on the podium. Then it's Sainz, Russell, Perez, Hamilton, Verstappen, Gasly, Stroll, Leclerc, Alonso, Magnussen, Ocon, Dennis Hauger, Zhou Guanyu, Logan Sargent, Nico Hulkenberg, Daniel Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda, Teo Porcher, and Alex Albon, who DNF'd at the start of the race. We do extend our advantage, I guess, in the Drivers' Championship. Charles Leclerc is looking in danger of losing his P2 at the moment. And again, with Leclerc not scoring this race, we did lose a little bit to Ferrari in the Constructors, but overall, we're still in with a shot of both titles this season, which is amazing for us to see. As you can see, I'm just kind of illustrating where Sainz and Norris are compared to myself and Leclerc. So it was a close one. Leclerc can do it. We've seen him do it in the last video. He did it at Silverstone. Great race pace from him. And we'll see more. I just don't know if he, I don't know, just didn't quite get the car going well enough for him today. Or if he got stuck behind some slower cars or incidents. I'm not sure. But that's it. Highlights are here, obviously, for you to watch and kind of enjoy again. Now that you kind of know what's going to happen, you get to see it from the off-board shots, which is quite nice, really. But that's it. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like. If you're new around here and you want to stay up to date with all of the videos that are going to be coming before F125, which is in less than a month's time now, then subscribe. You all know how YouTube works anyway. If you've watched it this far, I'm going to appear on your feed again, so don't really worry too much about it, to be honest. It doesn't really matter. But that's it. Remember, it's a double race week for us here, so there will be another race in the next couple of days. I'm not sure exactly what the track is, I can't remember. But I will see you then for round 11 of the My Team Career Mode.